Pricing your home on an acre or more is very different than pricing a home in a typical subdivision. This short video is going to give you several factors to look for and some big red flags to watch for when an agent tries to value your home. Take a look. The series of videos that I put out about what real estate agents are not telling you is not derogatory by any means. As a matter of fact, it typically just points out areas where agents are not familiar with what they should be telling you. And that is something that just happens based on experience and based on the type of properties worked. Now, I do have a book on Amazon if you want to grab that. It goes into a lot of detail. I think there are 20 plus chapters in the book. As a matter of fact, I know there are. But what I'm going to talk about today is what real estate agents aren't telling you about pricing. Again, not derogatory by any means, but there are some specific issues that you need to be aware of. Let's talk about this real quick. The first problem is that most agents work typical subdivision markets. They don't really work homes on an acre or more. They don't typically see They're not typically familiar with homes on an acre or more. So they don't really know what comparables to choose in order to value your home, what comparables best fit as far as what buyers are willing to pay in the open market. How would they know? They don't see those homes. They don't work those homes. It's not a typical daily process for them. So if the improper comparables are chosen, that can be quite inaccurate when it results in a value. So you might want to ask any agent that you're visiting, how many of the homes that you are using for comparables have you actually seen? And I mean in person, not by video or picture. Now this may seem trite, but I see homes on an acre or more on a continuing basis. I need to answer questions for my clientele. Buyers who want to know certain things, sellers who want to know certain things, the nuances, the restrictions, where can you have goats, where can you build a guest house, where can you park your RV, what are the different restrictions, the sizes, the locations, the distances, all kinds of things like that. So I don't think you can truly understand the 1 acre plus market unless you're seeing the product, know the housing. You see, 2 houses on 2 acres are not the same, just like 2 homes in a subdivision under 3,000 square foot are not the same. There are too many variables, the different size lots, the improvements, the workshops, the location of the land, the arrangement of the land, the trees or lack of trees, the fencing. There's just a lot of variables that really play a role in what a buyer's willing to pay for a property on an acre or more. Another way to become familiar with homes on acreage is showing them. And unfortunately, a lot of agents who work the typical subdivision market don't typically show homes on an acre or more. If you do, that is a very good way to become familiar with what's out there. And quite sincerely, I tend to be blunt, so let me be blunt. If an agent has seen houses that you're competing with, you're dealing with a pro. Most agents haven't even seen houses that you're competing with, much less the homes that have already sold and closed. They certainly can't see those. We've seen the ones that have sold and closed because we were looking at houses when they were on the market. So we understand what to choose and how to value your property based on the comparables. I hope that's making sense. Now let's talk about methodology. Using price per square foot is just simply inaccurate. I don't even use it with typical subdivision homes. Absolutely not with acreage homes. Here's another question you might want to ask. What method are you using to value my home? If they mention price per square foot or use that in the discussions, you might want to really think twice about how viable that estimate's even going to be. You just can't use price per square foot. I mean, even if the houses are the same size, you have 2 houses, they're each 2,750 feet. Well, if one of them's sitting on 1.2 acres and the other one's sitting on 3.6 acres, how can price per square foot even be an issue? How can it even be considered? The land value plays a big role in the total value of that property. So price per square foot is not even a method to use in pricing a home on an acre or more. Now I use actually 3 methods, and that's because of the shifting market. Often we use 2, but we've actually gone to using 3 so that we can get a more accurate estimate of what's going on based on a changing market. If someone's not using multiple methods, then information's being left on the table, and it's going to be a little less predictable as far as its accuracy. And last but not least, The actual number that you choose to price your home will dramatically affect how many buyers actually see your house. Very few agents actually know this, as we can tell by the way homes are priced on the multiple listing service and on the internet. But it's critical to maximizing the number of views that you get. Now, I'm going to share this one with you if we have the opportunity to meet, but I'm going to give you a hint. So it'll probably lead you down the path to knowing what I'm talking about, but I'll give you the rationale for it if and when we're able to meet. And that is this: if an agent, and most do this nowadays, just like they always have, they recommend a price. Let's just say your house is around $700 and they recommend $699. Or it's worth around $850 and they suggest $849.5. Or it's worth about $1 million and they suggest $999.9. Or it's worth $1,450,000 and they suggest $1,449,000. I think you can see where I'm going with this. If they suggest a price as if you were pricing for Walmart or a gas station, you need to really think twice, because that is not the best way to maximize the number of views you get online. I'll explain to you what to do and why to do it and where the numbers are that you need to consider if we have an opportunity to meet. Hopefully this gives you an idea of some of the complexities in marketing a home on an acre or more. And the nuances and variables that are involved extend into even the contract process. As a matter of fact, you might want to take a look at this video. It talks about some of the costs that are negotiable that sometimes are not negotiated properly. Take a look at that video and I hope to see you there.